economy. That was very much debatable about that we're moving from information age to the sustainability age. And the beauty of this book, the foreword was written by the late President of Singapore, His Excellency S.R. Nathan, and he's one of the great leaders that nation has ever known. He was the one who ran 3 times, 15 years in a row to lead that country. So that's the beauty of that book, has reached that much level and acceptance at the global level. So I'm proud to have this. So back to this book. This book was authored back in November 2017, and it was released right after that in 3 months. And it went to more than 20 plus countries. I was carrying it whenever I go. As you know, I don't sell books, I don't give commercial. I have my own endowment fund to support all my movement whenever I go toward the sustainability and sustainable development. So that this book has reached that much. And I had the privilege of having His Excellency, the Minister of Electricity and Water in Bahrain, to write me the foreword for this book. And this book, by the way, had got more than 27 different countries appraisal for. So when you open the book, you'll have that much, alhamdulillah, appraisals for the book and acknowledgement. So what the book talks about my legacy, the things I wanted to leave behind while I'm living, and also when I say goodbye to this earth. This is a legacy, and I have done after so much intensive, sitting with myself in a peaceful time, decided to, yes, I can have my own list, and whatever I do in this life should be evolving and revolving around those 21 goals. So they are my legacy, if you will, to call, and they are the goals right here. And so I came up with my list. Most of the goals are in line with the UN goals, in line with the global pressing problems. So that's why I came up with those goals. But to differentiate them from others, they really, I would say, complement. And I feel there's something missing, like tolerance shouldn't be forgotten or missing, but happiness, children's rights, women empowerment, all these things come. So a legacy, back of this buzzword. I've been speaking about this since the inception of this program, 11 years, and every time, whether it's a project management, marketing, branding, sustainability, we, which stand water, electricity, or water and energy week, I always bring this word on the table. I say a legacy. What things you're planning to leave behind. And this is my definition of a legacy. A legacy is more about sharing what you learned. It's just about sharing what you have or learned, not what you have earned. So it's not about the money, it's about the knowledge, right? It is bequeathing the values over the valuables. So when you bequeathing the values over the valuables, then the material wealth will be a friction of your legacy. It's not the whole things you're leaving behind, just a friction, little bit out of it, right? So it's just about what you are learning, it's not about what you're earning. That is the legacy I'm trying to push forward for everyone. And this is one of the greatest leaders history has, the recent history I should say, or the modern history has known, late Sheikh Zayed. He really left a great legacy. We're proud that whatever development, whatever level we have reached in this country, because of the great vision of his, when he wanted to get all the 7 different emirates with 7 different leaders, 7 different flags, 7 different governments to one government. So he did a great job, and we really love you, Zayed. We're really missing you. So he's one of the legacies that we work with. So what we're trying to say, when we talk about sustainability and sustainable development, we're talking 3 languages here. We talk about language of social, language of economy, and language of the environment. When we speak the 3 languages together, then we speak sustainability. And because they are but 3 different languages in a way, right, it's very difficult to achieve. And you have to do a lot of effort because they're always spoken in different languages somehow. So you need to get them together. Getting them together is what we are keep calling sustainable development. Sustainable development is about seeing the whole picture, the helicopter view of the whole world, and see how we can really capitalize, live, enjoy the resources of today without really compromising on the future generation who are coming behind us to enjoy. So whatever cup of water we have, how we can make sure that part of it is still kept for the generations to come. So that's all about sustainability. And sustainability can never be achieved if we cannot create meaningful change, I didn't say here to create a change. It's not about change makers. It's about meaningful change. And that makes the whole story different. Meaningful change is that when you stimulate your new thinking, so you have a new paradigm shift in your thinking process, leveraging your best personal resources, whatever personal resources you have, and being to reclaim a future that few months or few weeks or few days back was hopelessly. This cannot be done, nothing can be done about it. It was outreach. So reaching this defining moment or meaningful moment is the starting point for any sustainability movement. So you should have a meaning to what you do, otherwise you will never love what you're doing. Right? And this is why nowadays what we're trying to balance, we try to balance the resources, we try to balance the whatever knowledge we have, but it's never balanced. Why? We are not getting the balance what we wanted. The reason is that we're lacking the two instruments which are very essential in a human life, is the compass and the speedometer. A compass is giving a direction, navigation process to tell you how to move from A to B. So we need that direction. And we need to monitor our speedometer, how fast we are going. So it's not about having the compass rather than the speedometer. To me, it's very debated. I think we need both. If we have a meaningful statement carrying with you, then where is your compass? Where are you heading to? The direction you're going. And the speedometer, how fast you're going, right? So this is your KPI. This is how you measure your progress. Please do take note as you run through this presentation, right? So if you feel that something really meaningful makes sense to you, you may really need to build more. Please do never hesitate. You have your pencil, you have your pen in front of you, and do keep note. Again, this is my debated. If you ask any economist now, they would say that the world has run through three major phases of economy. Phase one was the agriculture phase, and that was the age of agriculture. They say the most important thing is the land and the agriculture you have on that land. Then we moved to the industrial age, and the most important thing on that age was the production line and the machines, assets. Then we left that age and we moved to an age we're living in now, called the age of intellectual or age of the information. It's just too much information. So this is how the economists classifying our economy. But I said, after the 2008 financial crisis, and that was my debated point, that the new age is being created, called the age of sustainability. And those days, I remember when I stood up here, and again stood up on a couple of international platforms, they say, the age of sustainability is coming. I said, I should say, right? And then we are living on it. As I said, every place you go. So this is my way of seeing the economy, right? So we are living on that age now. Uncertainty, unfortunately, nowadays we're living this. Uncertainty, is the new normal in today's fast-changing times and economy. We're uncertain. We just can't know what's going to happen tomorrow morning and what's going to happen to us as an individual, and are becoming, of course, some of the events happening, right? So we have this gentleman crying. Why you're crying, baby? Let us see. He said, because most of us, or the decisions will be made psychologically than logically. So we will not be thinking so much logic nowadays. We'll be thinking more toward the psychological part of it. And then politics or politicians, they will run the capital markets, right? The surplus and the money were to go from place to another. It's not the bankable projects. Earlier we were driven by bankable projects. If the project is bankable, the money would be running to. Yes, still, but most of the time you see the politicians, they are the one running the capital market. That has been my advice for the last, again, the 10 years. Please be positive, patient, and persistent. If you want to really move toward a better tomorrow, you need to be very positive, patient, persistent. And it is much, much easier said than done. So you need to practice how to be positive, you need to practice how to be patient, and you need to go through development training, how to be persistent, keep moving up, never giving up. So it's nothing easy to do. Follow me, please. Are you ready? You still waking? You want to follow up? So I'll be taking you through my lovely goal. The first goal, I think, integrates all the goals together, is the quality of education. And I didn't say education here because you don't want any education. We really have to have quality education to be able to, and that is, I would say, the foundation of all the goals together. If your starting point is a quality education, then you can easily integrate all the goals together, whether my goals or the UN goals or whomever goals you want to go. So education is the fatal and the starting point. This is very pathetic, but that is the reality. If you can see the picture here. How is the light system here? Bit fatigue. I can see the... I don't know how you guys see the picture. Bit fatigue, or is it clear? Yeah? Because I want to make sure, not only for me, for the coming of speakers, that they do a good control, but just to catch up with the time, I need to skip. And such pictures, very pathetic, but they're reality. There are people now in the world studying this way. So if your children going to a better school than this school, then you know how heavy you must be, right, compared to those guys, right? But this gives people also, great people like you, sense of direction, because they really wanted to change the circumstances. They just want to carry on this way, right? And I call this the evolution of soul. When you have a meaningful, when you have a direction, then there's evolution of your soul. Your soul is leading you to something, to create a difference, to teach you that you are the one. So your soul is calling you to do a difference. And the call has got authenticity on it. It is built in every one of us, with disregard to the race, to the culture, to the religion, to the faith, to the background you came from. We all have deep inside us a calling called authenticity. So you need to reach that calling to be able to make that difference. And authenticity is a journey. It's about to finding your voice, your own calling, to discovering your highest aspirations and purpose in life, to living an honest life, and to bring your passions and gifts to the world in the form of service to others. And I did color others with the blue color, because that is the key word here. When you feel that you're serving others, then you are in the sustainability path, right? So others is the buzzword, is the key words towards sustainability. Are you others people or not? And I don't know if has anyone here heard about the Super 30 or Ananda Kumar? Yeah, some of you. Has anyone here heard about Rashid Alleem? MashaAllah. All right, so we have more. So Ananda Kumar, sorry, you're not so much celebrity here. All right, so this is a great gentleman. Let us take you through his story. Ananda Kumar wanted to go to UK, to Cambridge to study, but because lack, and he's so much talented in mathematics, because of lack of financial resources, he dropped out, he couldn't do it. But did that give him a reason to still sit back and start to cry? No. He said, I'll be creating a foundation or a movement called Super 30. And he himself went to the villages and went to the talented, poor people, and selected the 30 of them, underprivileged, poor people. And he decided to teach them, providing the coaching, mentoring, food, housing free of charge. In a couple of years, he was featured by the Newsweek magazine as one of the most innovative schools in the world, from nothing. And that's not the end of the story. For the movie lovers here, do you have movie lovers here? All right, yeah, all right. So there's a new movie. It's been created for him. That is the type of legacy I'm talking about. So he was able to build Hollywood and Bollywood together to create a movie about him called the Super 30. So if you go to Emirates Airline now, traveling back home, for those of you, you'll see that Super 30 is about this gentleman. how he was able to create that difference. So any one of you is ready to create a difference. Probably a movie about him. Believe me, don't try that hard. It's my bad luck. I've been recognized as the Knowledge Ambassador back in 2015, and not even an article was written about me. So, but I'm not giving up. The time will come. I may attract, some of those Bollywood. Maybe we can say Dubai Wood now, or Dubai Wood. Right? I have to pray to be that person. All right, so let's move to creativity and innovation. That is my goal number 2. This is His Highness's statement, Sheikh Mohammed, the beloved Prime Minister of U.A.E. He said, we invite all the researchers, everybody in this room, you're invited to participate in a competition of $1 million. Are you ready to take $1 million, almost 4 million dirhams? All right? If we can create this little thing about the world here, bring the solutions about sustainability or innovative solutions. And I'm sure most of you have those innovative solutions. I have seen it outside. But did we have a gut to participate? At least nominate yourself to go to this competition. It is a pity that sometimes we are dragged by our mental mindset. We say, no, it's not for us, it is for somebody else. Who's somebody else, we don't know. It's just like when you say that the world is running to a crisis, everybody's looking for Superman, Spider-Man, Batman, Green Man to come and rescue the world, but nobody looking within to see his or her contribution. So we're inviting you now to look within, and please do submit your nomination for this innovative sustainability. Is anyone could be qualified or thinking at least? Just a thinking, blink of thinking. All right, we have a couple, 4 or 5 here. All right, please 6, 7. All right, please do that. Don't give up. Try, give it a try. His Highness again came up with this U.A.E. innovates, and yes, we do innovate, and that is the good news here. We have one of our teenage, is this guy, 14 years old, nominated as the world's smartest teen in 2018, and is Emirati. So we're proud to be Emiratis. Our kids are very smart, and he's been featured at CNN, News Magazine, BBC, globally, invited to give a speech in Nevada with NASA, and invited to give a speech in so many universities in UK and US. And his name is Adib al-Blushi. Right? He's less than 14 years old, but he was one of the smartest in the globe. Right? We're proud of him. Again, he's the second smartest in the world. He came up with innovation promotion system. Right? So for those of you who wanted to think in a different and create a difference, this is totally free download. You just go to alleem.com and you have a free download of more than 1 hour interactive DVD for your creativity and innovation movement. It is for you, for your people. It's totally complimentary. Just go to that website and download it, right? Let's move to technology and research. By all means, technology and research will take us to a new level. I'm sure you witnessed that the whole world has celebrated 50 years of Apollo 11 crew, whom they have seen totally something very unique and new to them 50 years back. And because of this research and development, we were able to reach the moon, and still the human philosophy never stops, and the dreams. In a point, they're aiming for Mars now. As you know, there's a lot of Mars movement. And this is what the Armstrong, the first person who walked on the moon, the first steps, he said, this is one small step for the man on the moon, but it's going to be a giant leap for mankind. It's going to be a giant leap for the mankind. So it is a small step for me, but for the mankind, it's going to be a giant leap. And Alleem Research and Development Center, we do believe in that too. And I do believe in the space. A friend of mine, Dr. Frank Gewine, he's the head of the European astronaut. A friend of mine at the moment is the Director General, and he was visiting His Highness in Abu Dhabi and His Highness Sheikh Mohammed Rashid in Dubai. And I did kindly requested him to come and give us a presentation about the space and how we can link the space missions to the energy and water. And he was kind, so he came to Sewa, and this is his visit in Sewa. He's a Belgian, and he came with the Belgian ambassador of U.A.E. in the U.A.E. together, and we inaugurated that, and we have, where is that? So we do believe in space, we do believe in reaching Mars too, in SIWA, and I have written a book called the SIWA Mars Team, and physically we do have SIWA Mars Team, but not to go to the Mars, but let me tell you a little story about this. I was asked by the media once, Rashid, everybody speaks about the space now, and if you have to travel to Mars, whom you're going to take with you? So we came up with 25 very catchy, weird, lovely titles, honorable titles for 25 out-performers in SIWA, and their names are listed with their job responsibilities and other. If you are interested, I have 1 copy here, 3 copies. Those who are interested to read, not to recite it, please kindly come over to take the book. We only have 3 copies. Nobody interested, they're totally free, I swear. I'm not saying this. Anybody else, please come forward. I said have 3. Only one's coming to it's a free. I said I have a free book. All right. Now I see the people coming. Thank you very much. All right. All right. Please sit down. No more. Only 3. Yeah. I said the 3, and I swear there are 3. All right. They're recitable, by the way. Remember this. All right. Enjoy the read. Thank you. Can I move on? So thank you for the companies who did sign with us, Alleem R&D, to create a better tomorrow and to keep challenging tomorrow. So there are some. Is your logo here? Any one of you? Thank you. Let us see. I'm giving you a second chance. This is the second. Partners. Is your logo around here? Is anyone logo's not around? Please make sure it is there the next Congress I come to. Right? We have CCTV on here. Looking everybody's. Yes. No, you're good on that. Peace and security. Who loves peace here? Who loves? Thank you very much, all of us. So the Global Peace Foundation, it says that the world is this peaceful. It's very shame to still see such a pathetic picture from the kids all over the world in Syria, Palestine, and other locations. Very pathetic. We're still living those moments. At the moment, as I am speaking, we have such horrible pictures coming from time to time. And to me, to overcome this peace and to become a peacemaker, this is what you need to do. It's all about love. It's all about love. Start with love. Love who you are, first of all. If you don't accept yourself, how would you love the others? Do you love yourself? Don't give me an answer now. Please have a private conversation with yourself. Do you really love yourself the way how you look, the way how you think, or no? The second is love is something we choose. The same way we choose hate. So why don't we choose love for others? And that is the starting point for making peace and peacemakers. And I have my prescription. It's just like physicians, they have prescriptions. I do have my prescription for peace. To have a peace for the world, we should have peace within ourselves. If we are not peaceful with ourselves, if we are not enjoying the peaceful moment, how would we give it to others and enjoy it to others? And even from the religious point of view, some religions believe that God is about love. Everything starts with love. If you have love, then you can create a difference. And let's be the peacemakers here today. Tolerance, all right? It's one of the goals globally. And because U.A.E is celebrating the Year of Tolerance 2019, I have authored a book called Tolerance. And just to say thank you to my team, I would advise them to come, please, on stage so we can reveal the secret here. So the book will be given to all of you. Yes? Is it all of them or not? Some of them? All right, so let me see, please. 1, 2, 3. That's the book of tolerance, right? That's not the real book, yeah? It's much, much smaller than this. Thank you. All right. And the tolerance, this gentleman is Dr. Muhammad Umar. He's the ambassador of U.A.E in Singapore, and he was kind enough to write me the foreword for the book. So he did write the foreword, so it is my picture with him last month in Singapore, my second home now. It used to be India, my second home, no more now, because I've been started to travel to Singapore more frequent, so it became my second home. And in U.A.E, anyway, we have 7 program points of tolerance. U.A.E tolerance about acceptance of others, respecting others. And all these points revolve and evolve about the 7 program. First is based on the Islam, the real Islam, that is not IS Islam, and then U.A.E Constitution, Zayed legacy and the ethics of the country, international conventions, and the history, archaeology, humanity, and common value or common values we have in this country, right? We do have a Minister of Tolerance. He's saying hi to everybody here, right? And Sheikh Nahiyan, he says tolerance is the oxygen of the country, right? He's telling you hi, and he said this is the tolerance to us is the oxygen, right, for the U.A.E. So thank you, Your Highness. Happiness. We all seeking happiness, right? All seeking happiness. This is a beautiful picture, isn't it? They're taking selfies together. It may look funny, but it's real. What these few kids are teaching us now, big boys, they're telling us, hey, big boys, happiness is created, not inherited. So we're kids here somewhere in this part of the world. We're enjoying our happiness moment, and we're taking selfie this way. And you can see the happy faces in everybody. No one says, hey, you're kidding us, you're joking us. They know it's not a real movie, it's not a real fun. But the way how he was taking them, living the moment is the most important things on this life. The problem with us now, we're living in 2 different histories. The past, so one eye going to the extreme past, and the second eye of us going to the future. So we don't see, we're blind about the present time. So we can't think the way how those kids are thinking. So that's why our eyes look in too extreme and we don't see in front of us. Because even we're living in the past moment or afraid of something yet to come. But those kids are enjoying. Do we have Filipinos around here? Filipinos, the most really optimistic people on earth, I would say. This is during typhoons, hurricane, floods, earthquake, whatever you see, Filipinos always smiling and happy. Look at their cars, their homes. They're almost flooded with the water, but look at the way how they smile, how they're happy. Right? If you can see with me here, unfortunately, for me it's a bit fatigued, the pictures, because of probably the clarity of the system here, but I could see them very, very happy faces, including the kids here. Everybody's smiling. In the midst of terrible times, they lost their houses, homes, maybe some of their beloved members of the family, and look at the cars, look at the houses, but still they're happy and smiling people. So from India to Philippines, from incredible India to lovely Philippines, keep doing what you're doing a lovely job. So my question to you all here, what is your definition of happiness? Pull up your pen now and just pick one word. What's happiness means for you? Living the moment, power, love, fiction. What is it? Just pick up a word that the whole thing, what you do, is revolving through that word. Is it peace? What is happiness means for you? Can anyone share here in the audience? Happiness, what does it mean in one word, please? You don't need to give me, yeah?
Satisfaction.
Where are you? All right, satisfaction. Okay,
smile on someone's face.
Sorry?
Bringing smile on someone's face.
Excellent. Do you have any more people? Yeah, please, at the back there.
Inner and outer peace.
Inner and outer peace, yeah?
Fulfillment.
Fulfillment. The lady there?
Family.
Family, all right. One more and we'll practice. Vikito?
Improving other people's life.
That's a very long statement. Repeat that so they can catch it. Did you catch it from him?
No.
Okay, raise up your voice.
Improving other people's life.
Improving others people's life. Thank you very much. All right, so you have definitions here. If you don't know how to define your happiness, please ask her. She's our Minister of Happiness of U.A.E, one of the young women here, who been Khalfan, sorry, Arumi, yeah. Again, good health and well-being, by all means, we do have goal. Everybody of us, everyone, I would say, they really have a concern over the health and the well-being of us. And I was the chief guest in one of the healthcare exhibitions in Sharjah Expo. I did integrate and did give a speech on the opening ceremony of this lovely. We had a South Indian state called Kerala, and they had more than 50 companies who were related to the healthcare and well-being assembled under one roof in Sharjah Expo, and they were trying to tell the people, take care of your health. That's the message. So this is one of it. And for those of you who love the cricket, I know England, they love cricket. They are the World Cup. They said goodbye to the rest of the team. They did very well at the final. It was an incredible game. And also here in Sharjah, we're celebrating the 5th session, inshallah, next year. We're starting from the day 1 of the year for almost to the 7th of February, called the RB, the Rashid Alleem Premier League for cricket, and we're playing the 5th year, inshallah. So far, who have confirmed Emirates Airline and all their subsidiaries. So I'm really happy to see that we have reached that level on this. So if you're interested in playing, make sure that you come very energized. We have set the date to you. And this is some of the previous pictures and celebrating on the ground. Right? Water sustainability, yes, by all means. Value what you have. Value what you have. We always keep telling people value what we have. Does anyone have Instagram here? Instagram? Please, I need you to do this. This is Siwa Connect. This is only for English speaking, not Arabic speaking. So if you love to receive and to interact with us, this is very interactive. Instagram, we have reached almost 2, it's very newly launched. So please do connect, give us a love, a like, and say Siwa Connect. And this is how we're engaging the people. They say water makes you happy, makes this beautiful young girl happy. What makes you happy? And this is sort of how to connect with us. So please do connect with us. I'm doing marketing here for my team because they wanted to only tap on the English-speaking people about what we do when it comes to the water. Right? India, as you know, do you have Indians around here? I doubt, yeah. Oh, mashallah. I thought only 5, 10. So we have more than that. All right. So India facing the worst water crisis in their recent history. That is the headline of the news there. Even though India runs in so many rivers, one of the most beautiful rivers in the world, still they are running through water difficulties. You cannot take things for granted. You can never take things for granted. And this is type of photos, pictures you see. This is in from Delhi. People are very anxious, exhausting, and sweating. Right? Too much heat because of the heat to it. That's not the end of the story. We start to see violation. A man was killed. This is independent headline over a water in India because of the heat wave. People start even violation and attacking each other for a couple of liters. That much was the situation. And in Chennai, they had to bring water by wagons and trains from state to them because they were running water scarce. We know water totally, almost zero water, that much. So you just can't take things for granted. You go to one of the most beautiful cities in India called Bangalore. In Bangalore, water is being auctioned at the moment. They auction the water on the street. How much you pay? I pay higher, I take the water tanker. I pay less, I lose the water. That much bad, the situation. Right? Affordable energy, what do you mean by affordable energy? Affordable energy, when you speak affordability in energy, you speak about two things. The energy efficiency, how to reduce the energy you're using in your home and you run through the energy management system, and how you capitalize on the God-gifted free sun over there, giving to everybody with no discrimination on the world. You can just tap and get that energy within. So that is when you speak about sustainability and sustainability. I'm happy to announce and to share with you that SIWA, the organization I'm chairing at the moment, has got the first ISO 50001, which is related to the energy management in the Arabic world. So I'm the first runner. I'm the first who filled that position so far. As soon as the UN released this 6-7 years back now about the importance of the sustainability and the importance of energy efficiency through the ISO standard. We were the runners who started to work for it. It took us about 2 years to be qualified and certified by this. Right? Again, this is Nelson Mandela in South Africa. This is one of the Alleem Foundation is doing. This is a school bag we give to the school. The device you see here in the middle of the bag, and this is the zip of the bag. We keep that. This is a solar sort of a small mini solar panel. So the kids, when they go, you are so much privileged here. You go by buses and other. Most of the schools in the suburb area, most of the kids, the school kids, they go walking to the school. So while they go walking, they wear the bag at their back, and then this energy gets them a free energy from the sky, from the sun, energize and store it in a battery. So what happens when at home at night they don't have electricity, so they just zip the bag, they take the device, and they start to use the lights for almost 4 hours. So that was really made a remarkable change in the life of the people in the suburb area of South Africa. So we have reached, alhamdulillah, that far, and the bag was sitting next to Mandela to say that yes, we do love you, whatever you have done, the peace movement you have created, and the sustainability you've taken the South African to, and we're part of it, and we're supporting your movement. So that's it. And this is a picture of the kids with the banner. They're happy with it, and that's the foundation. When it comes to the environment, natural resources, and the security, this is something very important, I would say. And here in Sharjah, we are the only and the first, and no one has ever done it, has a sustainability report. This is the 3rd year we're producing a sustainability, a very authentic sustainability report, tested by the Climate Change Office of the U.A.E. That much we have reached. So this is the 3rd year we're producing the sustainability report, plus the carbon neutral report. So you won't see any organization in Sharjah, even including the private ones, has run to this. But we have been doing it for the last 3 years, just to tell the world that this is a very critical. So if the world comes to you here and you say what we are doing for the sustainability, at least you have very authentic report you can show the people, you can show the world. You just can't hit seldom hot air. I have done this, but whereas you don't document, you don't try. So this is what we try to do. Climate change, by all means, this is one of the things. We have one of the youngest sharp U.A.E. nationals, Dr. Thani. He is the Minister of Climate Change. And we've done a remarkable on this at the global level, right? So, please, I hope that you're not so fatigued and tired. So please, you must stay awake. Are you awake still? Yeah, good, alhamdulillah, great. So let's go to the financial and economic crisis. When it hits you badly. When it hits you badly. You remember the 2008 financial crisis? Does anyone know the first 6 months how many Chinese lost their job? 2008, beginning of 2009. The first 6 months of the crisis, 2 million jobs were lost in China because of financial crisis. 20 million jobs were lost in 6 months in China alone. So when things goes bad, they really go bad very well. Let me share with you the Deutsche Bank. Does anyone knows about this bank? In one go, beginning of this month, 18,000 jobs were lost in one go. And this bank, considered the 15th largest bank in the globe. 15th, he ranks 15th. In one go, they let go 18,000 families. And you know what? They send them an email 10 a.m. in the morning, and they say, they check your name, with your name on the list. You have to leave the work and hand over at 11 a.m. They've given the employees only 2 hours for handover. That much bad when the situation goes back. So don't take things for granted. Right? Competitiveness. Thank you, Your Highness Sheikh Mohammed. You always wanted to be on number 1, and we're trying to take all of us to be inspired with you. And he has created competitiveness office authority to take care of the statistics. So please do network with them if you need anything related to the way how we do things. As you know, the competitiveness is built on the 12 pillars. The last one is the innovation. So if you want to see about the U.A.E. innovation, how far we are, or how good we are doing, you can contact the authority. So most of us sometimes we struggle with the data, especially the expatriates. They don't know to whom to go or how to extract the data. We have really authorities dedicated to give you free data. So international trade and investment, yes, we need international trade and investment to keep moving. So you and I, we don't like red tapes, right? Nobody like red tapes, right? So catch us. We just are handicapped when we have red tapes, bureaucracy in a country. We just hate that. What we need a red carpet treatment, right? We need somebody to give us a red carpet treatment, then we can do the investment. And you know, Chinese now, they're taking the lead. China, they want to rebuild what used to be called the Silk Road. Thousand of years back, China was networking with its neighboring country through the sea, through the land, and through even the far countries, through something called the Silk Road, or the Silk Route. It's a very ancient route, but China is rebuilding that. And for that, China has signed agreement with more than 100 countries so far, 100 countries. They have signed with China to rebuild this road. It's a billions of dollar investment, but the Chinese is moving forward. And in U.A.E, our leadership does believe on this. And for that, two lovely leaders, having the president of China in the middle of them, telling him, shaking hand, saying that we are with you in this movement. We do believe in global peace. We do believe in global trade. And here we go. So U.A.E is one of the support. And this is a statement from China. They say, China-U.A.E relationship is its best in the history. So it is the best relationship. And just thank you to His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed. They signed 12 great agreements just day before yesterday with the China. You know one of the agreement, what does it say? You won't be surprised here. It's not about sustainability. It's about teaching Chinese in our local schools. So in 2 years' time, don't expect me to say good morning. I will to say ni hao, xixi, right? So Chinese is going to be taught here, right? And by the way, Arabic has been taught in China for a long time. So children's rights, by all means, children's rights. Children's rights here is raised 10, 15 years in this country. We never heard about this because we're living in a very beautiful extended families and peace and harmony away from those lousy walls. But now with this modern life and we needed really foundation, and this is one of the good foundation in the state of Ajman or Emirates of Ajman called Himaya. Himaya is an Arabic word mean protection. Himaya means protection. So protect the rights of the children and the women also living in Ajman. So, but it's unfortunately, you can, or whether it's fortunate or unfortunate, it is in every state now, or every emirate in the U.A.E, you'll have one of those foundations. Something really bad, not to be proud of, but it wasn't there 15 years or 10 years even earlier. But it is there now because they lost their rights. So let's be practical. Food security, very bad. We still waste so much food, and we go for nutrition to reduce the big belly here, but people are really starving. No food. And this is my recent, at the beginning of the month, I was at the UN in Geneva, and it was one of my historical moments in my life because I always wanted to go and speak. I was invited for 3 good hours interactive session, and I was given 10 good minutes to talk about the way how I view the world, the way how I view sustainability and sustainable development. So it was really a historical achievement at my personal level to go and to be invited, because I was invited to this beautiful interactive workshop for 3 hours, and I've given a chance to speak for 10 minutes. That was not the end of the story. I wanted to go to the UNHCR, United Nations High Commission of Refugees. I think you do have a representative here. You just give them a big round of applause earlier. No, I said you did give them. You're not supposed to give them again. Right, so please save your energy for me. I'm just about to finish. I need someone to clap big and as fast as you can later on, right? Later on. All right. So this is in their office. I was invited like a king in their office. Thank you very much. I want to see. And in their office, they have a visitor logbook. You can write. What really attracted me to this book to write is that the title of the book says, "Speak with your heart." So I really felt so much touched by the book, and I started to write so many things. I almost filled the whole page, and I moved, if you notice here, this page got filled, and I moved to the second page, right? That much I get in touch when they say speak from the heart, because I was really trying to speak from the heart, and in that, I was given the latest report about the global trend on the forced displacement in 2018, and I put the copy of that book. Very lovely, but very pathetic, right? Very pathetic. Extreme poverty, that's goal number 17. We're still speaking about poverty, and that is the true story. This is from the UN now again. 1 in every 2 children, can you believe it? 1 in every 2 children lives in poverty around the world. This is not the end of the story. Look at this. Those pictures are still circulated around, right? And 2.47 billion people, not million, billion, big B, billion people around the world, they live with less than $2 a day. How much you're earning by day? You don't need to tell me. There are people who are earning less than $2. It's much cheaper than the coffee you just had in the morning, if you that much. 2 weeks back, I was in London. My way back, running to the aircraft, Emirates, to catch up the flight. I was stopped by this cash box, if you would call it, and it says, "Give change." What really attracted me this is the organization behind this, Give Your Change. This organization called CARE, and they are fighting poverty around the world. So because poverty is again one of my goals, so I stopped, and the people start going, "Hey, sir, the aircraft is gonna fly." I said, "No, this is the last click." I wanted to include it for my Congress. And this organization, guess what? They've been fighting poverty around the world since the inception of 1946 or 48. That much big time. So what is this? This is what I wanted to emphasize, is a legacy. They've been doing this for this much years to fight. So isn't that good if you're really fighting poverty, to just drop them an email? Or at least have their coin box somewhere at the airport here and there, or at whatever. Do something, right? Women empowerment. Isn't that lovely? We need to empower them, engage them, yeah? Here in Sharjah, what I do every year, we do celebrate, we make a big celebration in one of the 5-star hotels at the evening time, and we do recognize the women achievers who did remarkable change in the whole country and at the global level, and that is during the 8th of March. 8th of March is what? Halloween Day, is it? Yeah? Halloween Day? Women's Day, yes, you're right. It's not the Halloween Day, it's the Women's Day, yeah? So we're celebrating the Women's Day, we do celebrate here. But that's not the end of the story. Those 5 women were sent in Ireland for 10 days program for a capacity building. So this is part of my empowerment also to them. So this picture is recently, they spent 10 days in Ireland trying to move from school to another, to company to another, and attended the international conference, and they spoke in one of the conferences. So they did very well on that area. So this is what we do, this is how we empower them. We want them to see what the world is look like outside. Right? Employment, skills, and capacity building, or human capacity building. Can anyone read this? U.A.E, yeah. U.A.E stands for Siwa Academy. We do have in Siwa in-house academy to teach technical, financial, and financial programs for our Siwa employees. We have more than 4,500 employees, and we have built in-house. So this is the logo of that, and this is one of the sessions I was dressing, not only in the academy, has really extended its services beyond the border of Siwa. So this is in the AU's American University of Sharjah. I was requested to give a speech for the student, and you see how, mashallah, the hall was almost full with the students and trying to address the next generation. And the talk was about, guess what? Again, sustainability. I was recognized by our beloved minister, Engineer Sultan, and also Minister of Economy in U.A.E for doing so at the capacity building at the local and regional level. Right? Sustain inclusive growth, that's again, this is something that we need to work by having equal rights to everybody. Equal rights, so people are not treated as first class, second class citizen in the same nation. So what sustainability or inclusive growth, sustainable inclusive growth is all about, is about that economic movement or whatever you earn is really have a broad distribution to everybody who makes the economy, so everybody gets not the good charity in their own home, but they get the support, right, from that. So it is really, and they can see their contribution to that movement. I'm coming very close to my end, so that's international cooperation. Yes, we need to work at the international level. We need to cooperate together, and no better platform than the G20. G20, this is their latest meeting in Japan, in Osaka, and they met together, and I had a message for them. My message says this: people think that borders can keep problems out. People think that the borders, the more border will keep the problems out. You leaders, this is the way out. But borders can't keep climate change out. Right? The same thing. Borders could not keep the 2008 financial crisis out. So it's not about the borders. It's all about this. The only way this world would work out is if we work together. So it is better together. With this, I'm telling you, the world is waiting for a great, inspiring person like you. Do something. I have come up with my list. What is your list? How do you see sustainability? And I want to invite all of you in tomorrow's program at night. This is my home tomorrow. It's only for one day. I was given, this is the Sharjah Chamber of Commerce and Industry, right? And we have the function tomorrow. It's very light, come very casual. We start from 6:30 p.m., not a.m., right? Don't get mixed up. Yeah, because you have people came at 6:30 a.m., so don't come a.m. And I'm happy to announce that we have His Excellency Mr. Khalid bin Batti. He was the Director General of Sharjah Chamber. Khalid, why don't you stand up so people can see you? Please now we have great person. So you're all invited, and all of you are invited for the break now. Am I right? Before that, did I miss anything? What did I do? Anyway, you're here late. He said, I'm still loyal to you. Oh, what Latif is trying to say is that he needs 21 volunteers, and he prefers to have the first row because they are the IBC to come on the stage, and each one of you become one of those boxes. Yeah? If you're ready to, he wants you to become one of the boxes. Right? That's it. Take a nice picture. That's it. Can you come on the stage? So we can have people down and can give people up. So, yeah, excellent.
For you on the stage as well? So total 21 sustainable goals will take a photo.